What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bulls pick up a pretty big and important win for this season as they versed the Charlotte Hornets once again. Recently versed them again a couple of games ago. We lost to them. They obviously had a big result in that game. The Bulls responded well in this timeout, delivered a huge win of their own, and ultimately, again, if this win means a lot or not, we'll have to wait and see, but it will be a positive day when the Chicago Bulls wins a basketball game. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls overall game today. Who was your player of the game? Your thoughts and opinions on how well, or for some people, how poorly the Bulls played in this game. We won this game 114-98. Overall, I would say we had a good control in this game. Again, you're always going to fear that the Bulls are going to, I guess, collapse and lose the lead and not manage the game well, because past experiences will show that that's going to be the case for the Bulls. But again, Charlotte, not the best offensive team. We all know that. They don't have that many threats out there in their team that can, I guess, hurt this Bulls team. But when you give young teams confidence, young teams will take advantage of that. That's kind of what happened in the first time out. In the second time out, the Bulls managed the game better. The bench played better. A couple of our starters stepped up as well, and it looked like a very solid game to watch if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. What I liked about this game is a couple of guys that you didn't expect to have big games had big games today. Ayo Dosunmu, someone that I personally think has been struggling recently, not been used correctly, not necessarily aggressive either, just extremely disappointing couple of, I guess, weeks for Ayo, in all honesty. Had an amazing game today, easily in contention for player of the game as well, and man, that's what he can be when he's aggressive. He's a dangerous player when he's aggressive, when he's attacking the basket, when he's confident, and when he feels like he can be up to the challenge. He went up against LaMelo Ball today, and LaMelo Ball had a great game. Again, LaMelo Ball's a superstar, there's no denying that in the world. But Ayo also, I think, held his end of the bargain in that matchup, and he had a fantastic game in his own right. Coby White, off of the bench. This might be the first time I think he scored 20 points this season off of the bench today. And you expect some of those games every now and then for Coby White. And today, against Charlotte, he delivered that performance. He was everywhere in this game, in my opinion. Defensively, he was great. Offensively, it felt like he never stopped running in this game. The energy was superb. And again, another great game for Coby White as well. Obviously, some of our bench players as well made the big difference. Andre Drummond, oh my goodness, I really, it's like a crime that we haven't seen him play for a long period of time, especially in the minutes that he played today. He was a huge difference in this game. And yes, there were a couple of times where he was a little bit too aggressive. So again, I think he just is eager to impress our coaching staff and eager to impress the fan base to show, hey, don't forget about me, I'm still here, and I can still be impactful for this team. That's kind of how I felt like his performance went today. But he was superb as well. Again, I'm stunned that we went away from him as long as we did. And I don't know what he did wrong to really get, I guess, punished in that way. And for us to persist on small ball the way that we constantly did. But today, he made a big difference in this game, and I respect that Billy Donovan played him in this game, and obviously I admire Andre Drummond's performance. And again, it was a big energy booster off this team, 100% for sure. And when Zach and DeMar don't play well, other guys had to step up, and I really can say with happiness on my face, even though you might not be able to tell, our team stepped up today when on behalf of Zach and on behalf of DeMar DeRozan as well. So very good performance all the way through. And now it's time to talk about the individual performances for the Chicago Bulls, starting off with DeMar DeRozan. He had a 15-point, 4 rebound and 7 assist performance, 1 steal and 1 block on the night. Only 33% for DeMar DeRozan, but 2 from 5 from the 3-point line. That's a rarity to see. DeMar DeRozan shooting well from the 3-point line. Last season, he shot really well from the 3-point line. This season, he's had a bit of a downgrade in that area. But yeah, it's good to see DeMar DeRozan take that amount of threes and actually make some of them as well. So good stuff for DeMar DeRozan. But all the way through, a fairly average game, fairly mediocre game from DeMar. But he didn't have to do a whole lot in this game for us to win. And that's something that you'll take all day long. When your superstars don't play well and you win, you got to give respect to the entire team, respect to the coaching staff as well for, I guess, having other players in this team be able to step up in those performances. Patrick Williams, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist and 1 steal, 2 from 8 from the field, 2 from 4 from the 3-point line. All I'll say about Patrick Williams is that I hope he gets better soon. He left the game in the 4th quarter, I believe, with a, from my understanding of what I saw, I don't think there's a diagnosis on it yet, but he did end up coming back on the bench, I believe. I think he sprained his ankle, basically. It looked like a sprained ankle. Hopefully it's nothing more serious than that. Hopefully it's not broken or fractured or anything like that. Hopefully it's not as bad as Look, we always tend to get a little bit of bad luck with injuries, but hopefully this one is not bad whatsoever. Can I see him missing the next couple of games? Sure I can, because those injuries are painful, even if it's just a sprain, even if it's nothing at all really. That's going to hurt for a couple of days just by looking at it. Again, I'm sure most of us in the world have felt what it felt like to roll your ankle like that in many ways. So you know the pain that he would probably be feeling. So again, if he plays the next game, I won't be surprised, but also if he misses the next game, the next couple of games, I will also not be surprised as well. Just get well soon overall to Patrick Williams, but not the best game from him in all honesty. 2 from 4 from the 3-point line, that's great. That's typical of Patrick Williams in all honesty. He's probably our most consistent 3-point shooter at the moment, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say this is an amazing step-up game from Patrick Williams like the ones we've seen the previous timeouts. Nikola Vucevic, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal on the night. 7 from 14 from the field and 1 from 5 from the 3-point line. What I will have to say as well is hopefully Nikola Vucevic is okay also. He had a great game this time out, definitely in contention for player of the game for me, but obviously when going for a rebound, he and DeMar DeRozan ran into each other. I think Terry Rozier was in that conversation as well, and Nikola Vucevic I think was holding his thigh, around his thigh area. I think he played obviously after that as well, so that's good to see. But another situation where again, he might have to get that checked out and he might miss a couple of games here or there. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just, okay, it hurt for like 5 seconds and now he's back, you know? But when people land awkwardly in those situations, I truly think it's unpredictable what's going to happen with Nikola Vucevic, what happens with Patrick Williams. So I assume Nikola Vucevic will play the next game, but I wouldn't necessarily be too confident about it either. So we'll wait and see what happens. But in terms of Nikola Vucevic's nights, man, this guy's having a lot of dunks recently. That's one thing I'll give about the highlight of Nikola Vucevic. He was in the paint a lot. He got a couple of post hooks, easy points in the paint as well. But this man is dunking a lot more now than what I've seen in last season and since the beginning of the season, really. Remember that preseason game where we saw Nikola Vucevic slim down a little bit and this man was dunking on everybody essentially for those preseason games? It kind of feels like he's gone a little bit back to those ways. Maybe he's getting the legs underneath him a little bit. Maybe he's starting to, I guess, thrive his good performances and his confidence levels is going up a bit, because he had a great left-handed dunk today and I'll give him respect for that because he's not the most athletic player. But yeah, very, very good night for Vucevic. I always like when guys get 6 assists on the night or 5 assists on the night, just really being a dominant passer in the team as well. I think Vucevic actually, I don't know if this is true, but he's one of the players that leads the assists in the Chicago Bulls. I think DeMar might actually average more, but Vucevic is definitely up there. And for a center, it's always a huge bonus to see. So good job from Nikola Vucevic. Zach LaVine, 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, only 8 shots for Zach today. He also got a block and 3 steals, 1 from 4 from the 3-point line in total. I'm not going to complain too much about Zach LaVine's game today. Again, I know many people who just want to, I guess, constantly be negative about the team, which is their right to do because this team is not exactly consistent, is it? But he didn't force anything today. He realized that other guys had it going. He only took 8 shots. I think that's more than respectable for Zach LaVine when guys like Ayo and Kobe were really dominant in the game, and Vucevic as well. So no, I'm not going to say anything about Zach LaVine's performance today. Was it great? No. Was it bad? No, I don't think it was any of those things. I just think it was okay, and that's all I'm really going to say about Zach LaVine. I know he's meant to be our superstar, our max contract player, and all that, but again, in certain situations, in certain games, you don't need your superstars to go off and shoot 25 shots and score 40, 50 points a game. You don't need that every single night. You don't need that most nights. So I'll take it from Zach LaVine. I don't really have too much to say about this performance from him. Moving into the next one, Ayo Dosunmu, 22 points and 1 steal on the night. 9 from 10 from the field, 1 from 2 from the three-point line. Ayo was a threat in every sense of the word. Attacking the basket, he made a three-point shot today as well. Aggressive, that's the key word here. 10 shots, 9 of them were made, and most of them, if not all of them, were attacking the basket, obviously except for the three-point shot. His only miss was from the three-point line as well, to put it into perspective. So that's the threat that Ayo can cause when he's attacking the basket, when he is aggressive, and that's what we as Bulls fans should always aspire from him. He has to be aggressive. He needs to learn to be more aggressive as a player. And that's what young players will always have to learn, and that's how you develop them at the end of the day. Ayo has the skill set. Patrick Williams has the skill set. Kobe White has the skill set to be very effective in the NBA and to potentially be starting players in the NBA as well. They all have the potential to do that, but it's about finding it on a consistent level. With Ayo, we saw today what makes him so great. Attacking the basket. His layups are very much, for the most part, unguardable. He's very crafty in his own right, and defensively, he's definitely no pushover either. You see these qualities with Ayo 100% of the time. I also think he's very good in the pick and roll, even though we don't necessarily see it a whole lot this season. I think he's a very good playmaker in the pick and roll scenarios. But anyway, outside of the point, we see what we see with Ayo. We see the potential, we see the highlights, we see the good games. It's about finding those good games consistently. I hope in the next game against Portland, we don't see Ayo not be aggressive. I hope he continues to attack the basket, because I think there is success there, not only for the Bulls, but for Ayo Dosunmu, and that is the most important thing for him and for the Bulls in the long term, because I think he's going to be a Bulls player for a long time, in my opinion. Moving into the bench, again, our bench was superb. Kobe White, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 from 13 from the field, 3 from 5 from the three-point line. Again, I don't know how many 20-point performances Kobe White has had this season. If I had to take a guess, this is his first one. And look, again, I always say with Kobe White, it's the other things that makes him a unique player, makes him a different player, makes him work with the Chicago Bulls team. His scoring is what we want him to do. It's kind of what we need him to do in many ways as well. But his defensive work, his energy, his rebounding, these are the things that make Kobe White as good as he is this season. But today, you got all those things that you see from Kobe White. You got good energy, good defensive pressure. Literally, the guy never stops running. It feels like he's always on the go. He's always on the move. He wants to play super fast. And today, you got 20 points alongside of that. So you got the scoring, you got the defense, you got the rebounding. You got everything you wanted from Kobe White in this game. And that's why he's also, in my opinion, contention for player of the game off of the bench. That is a great performance from Kobe White. Definitely one of his best in the season. And it's only fitting that he did it against Charlotte as well. He's a North Carolina kid at the end of the day. Moving into the next one, Alex Caruso, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal with 7 minutes of action, 2 from 3 from the field, 1 from 2 from the three-point line. Look, honestly, Alex Caruso, it looked like he was on the verge of having a very big game for the Chicago Bulls, but unfortunately, I think he sprained his right foot and he did not return in the second half of that game. So all I can say in terms of Alex Caruso, get well soon once again. It sucks that he's the guy that always falls to injuries. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that can be preventable or not. Maybe it's the way that he plays. He's always 100% on the go, constantly running, constantly moving, constantly doing everything for this team. And I think sometimes we have to pay the price that, okay, when he does play like that, he will get injured every now and then. And I think this is like the 4th injury for Alex Caruso this season, if I'm not mistaken, or the 3rd at least. And yes, they're minor injuries. He comes back like very quickly, to be fair. And he's played more games this season than he did last year for sure, which are all big positives. But it's still important to see him on the floor. And it does kind of suck that he's going to, at least I think he will miss at least the next game against Portland. And he didn't return today. That absolutely sucks. But he was on the verge of a big game. And I think this was a very good performance from him. Andre Drummond, 15 points, 11 rebounds in 14 minutes of action. Now, I understand. A lot of people will say this is not a consistent performance from Andre Drummond in terms of he's not going to get a double-double like that every single game. And I understand there are some games where Andre Drummond absolutely stinks up the joint. We get it. We understand. Bulls fans, I think, are very understanding in some ways. But the fact that we went against him for so long, and the fact that we didn't play him for so long, it's almost unforgivable, because there were certain games that we have seen, again, the Clippers one comes to mind, but there are many games we've seen small ball hurt us more than it helps us, and we very rarely used Andre Drummond. In the last game against the Los Angeles Clippers, when he left that game with only 2 minutes of action, he looked absolutely deflated, defeated. It looks like he knew his time was up for the Chicago Bulls. Then fast forward to this game, he's getting 15 and 11 in 14 minutes of action. In my opinion, this has to be the amount of minutes that Andre Drummond gets. He has to be allowed to play as the backup center for the Chicago Bulls. And don't forget, Derrick Jones played in this game. And Derrick Jones played well in this game as well. I really think the best way to go is to have Derrick Jones as the athletic forward that can fly around to grab rebounds, fly around to get opportunities in the paint, while Andre Drummond is there being one of the best rebounds in the NBA. I truly think that's the best partnership off of our bench to be allowed to, I guess, for the forward and the center position. I really think that's the best way to go. And I hope we see it in the future. I hope Billy Donovan saw something in this game that we can see in the future, because I'm not saying he's going to get 15 and 11 every single night. It's just not consistent, but he can easily get an 8 and 8 night every single night, in my opinion. 8 points, 8 rebounds, or 6 points and 6 rebounds. For most nights at least, he can get to that mark, and that's still a very effective mark to get to for Andre Drummond. So I hope we see more of it. Goran Dragic, only 4 assists in this game, didn't force anything, only took 1 shot, and again, playmaking was solid. Derrick Jones, 2 points and 2 rebounds in this game. Look, he played well for the minutes that he played. He only played 8 minutes today, but what I will say about Derrick Jones is that I think, again, if he played most of this game, he would have had a better game. I think he played well for the fourth quarter. He basically played most of the fourth quarter. I don't remember seeing him in any other moments in the game, but he got a putback, he got a couple of rebounds. Again, I thought he played okay, and I truly think it's the best way to go, to see Derrick Jones as a power forward. Again, he's still undersized, I get it. We still need to get a little bit bigger, but still, he's athletic enough to do the job off the bench 100%. And Andre Drummond as the center, I really think that's the way to go. And Derrick Jones can also be a threat from the 3-point line this season as well. He can make about 1 or 2 of them a game if you give him the opportunity. So, again, I just think it makes so much sense. And look, I know basketball is much more complex than I make it out to be. I make it sound so simple, don't I? Again, Derrick Jones and Andre Drummond, it just simply makes sense. Maybe there's something there that makes it not make sense, and I wouldn't know, but Billy and a lot of coaching staffs in the NBA might know and take advantage of it. I don't know, but I just think it's logical to have Derrick Jones. If you want to play smaller, Derrick Jones is a small ball power forward in many ways. Yes, he's 6'5", but it's his athleticism, or 6'6", I can't remember his height, but his athleticism really gets him to the point where he can play power forward in this league. And he's played backup center as well. If Andre Drummond's in foul trouble, Derrick Jones can play backup center for this team. These are the things I can understand. But when you're going away with a center that's one of the best backups in the NBA, and I still believe it, to Derrick Jones, who's a small ball center that can only work in a few games to actually be extremely effective, it hurts this team. So I'm happy that we saw Andre Drummond play. I'm interested to see what we do in the next game. If Andre Drummond gets big minutes in the next game against Portland and we do well and he does well, then maybe he's just revived his career at the Chicago Bulls again. Maybe. But you can never be too sure. Maybe this could be a way to get his trade value up, and then he's on the trade block again. I don't know. Don't know what the future holds, but I'm happy at least we saw this game from Andre Drummond. Moving into the Must Improve and the Player of the Game awards. My Must Improve will be Patrick Williams. I'm not going to say any further because, again, the guy got injured. I don't want to pile on what could have been a bad night for Patrick Williams. We'll move on, but if you watch the game, you can probably understand why I gave it to him. Don't think he was terrible, but he definitely wasn't great either. My player of the game, you know what? I am going to give it to Andre Drummond. Call it bias, call it whatever you want, but 14 minutes of action and this guy dropped 15 and 11. Again, for the minutes that he played, I think he made the biggest impact on the team. Simple as that. Vooch, shout out to you, Nikola Vucevic. Great night. 17 and 12 with 6 assists. Again, another amazing night for Vucevic. Io, 22 points, only missed a shot. Shout out to you. Kobe White, 20 points off of the bench with 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Shout out to you. But shout out to Andre Drummond, because in his return game, basically, he stole the show in my opinion. So fair play to him. He did get posted, negative there, but of course, centers will get posted in the NBA. It is what it is. Shout out to Andre Drummond. He had a fantastic night. The Bulls record is 24-27, 3 games below 500. We're pretty much exactly where we've been all season, so I'm not going to really say too much else. I already told you what I think about this season. I think the play-in is the best we can do. The the next game is going to be against Portland. One of my favorite players in the NBA, and Damian Lillard, is coming to town. Judging, I don't really care about the Bulls record in terms of that game. I'm going to be excited for the game and just excited to see Damian Lillard. Again, if you guys don't know me, Damian Lillard is probably my favorite. Maybe Luka is now slowly getting like in the same bracket as him, but Damian Luka, man, they're definitely one of the best players in the NBA, and they're one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. I love watching Damian Lillard play. It's a dream of mine to see him on the Bulls, but I don't know if that will ever happen. But I'm very, very excited to see Portland come over to Chicago and have that game. Obviously, as a Bulls fan, I want the Bulls to win. There's no doubt about it. I think we need to win as well. Portland are definitely not having their best season. What was a starts of the ages for them has now, they've kind of fallen off. They've fallen from grace a little bit, and their season is in big jeopardy now. So, look, maybe we let Portland win so we can take their pick. I don't know. Again, we'll wait and see. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.